I said in my Hillbilly Elegy book review that I often disagree with Michael Knowles, but then still end up at a similar conclusion, and this is a good example of that. He's looking at the news story about the Bill Gates mosquitoes that can deliver vaccines through a mosquito bite, and he's saying this is potentially a good thing because they can deliver things like malaria vaccines to places in Africa that have a very high malaria death rate. So it's more than just like the COVID vaccine. But then he said something interesting. He said that his main reason for opposing the COVID vaccine, or at least one of the main reasons, was that part of the material used in the vaccine's development came from aborted fetuses. Okay, well, I agree that's a bad aspect to it. That wasn't my main reason for opposing it. It wasn't even one of my main reasons. Much bigger on my list of concerns was the fact that we're being mandated to take something that did not go through the proper testing procedures. On paper, this was an experimental vaccine the entire time. There was no way to hold the vaccine developer legally liable if there's any kind of negative medical impact from that. And there was quite a bit of anecdotal evidence of people having adverse side effects, some of them severe. And I can hear the pro-vaccine people now. Anecdotal evidence might not be representative of the entire population, okay, fine, true. But are you confident enough to risk your life and your health on that? I did not have that much faith in the vaccine. I did not get it. I am happy with my decision. Yes, I am aware of the irony of me saying that in the raspy voice of someone getting over a cold. But as far as malaria vaccines in Africa go, I would still feel uncomfortable deploying that on a large scale without at least making the local population aware of it and making sure they don't have any major outcry against it. Even if we know it's good for them, if they have a massive outcry against it, if they clearly don't want it, then I don't think it should be forced upon them. But my impression of the malaria vaccine is that it is safer, it has been tested more, and it is more successful in the goal of reducing malaria than any COVID vaccine has been so far. But then again, I didn't really look that up. That's just my impression of it from all the things I've heard up until now in my life. But more to that difference of opinion between Knowles and I. Knowles is Catholic, I am Protestant. Something more than just a doctrinal difference that I admire about Catholics is the tendency to be absolutely bold and fearless on the pro-life issue. I don't know where it comes from, but I'm glad it's there. I am glad they are such fierce defenders of that, if nothing else. And that pro-life streak goes deep. Like, I've even met Catholics who are on board with the whole social justice thing. Deep Democrat, blue Catholics who still call themselves pro-life. That is commitment, and that is something I admire.